The Mystery of Pompeii, The Last Day, Frozen in Time. August 24th, a D79. Or perhaps October. That question itself is already a mystery. The sun rose slowly over the wealthy Roman city of Pompeii. Merchants opened their shops. Slaves hurried toward the marketplace. The villas of the local elite filled with the aroma of fresh bread and wine. No one suspected that within a few hours, their entire world would cease to exist. Forever. Today, Pompeii is considered the most famous archaeological site on Earth. Yet its story is more than a tale of volcanic destruction. It is a 2,000-year-old mystery, one in which scientists continue to uncover both answers and new questions. The Sleeping Monster. Towering above the city stood Mount Vesuvius. To the people of Pompeii, it was simply part of the landscape. No one considered it dangerous. The reason was simple. No living person had ever witnessed it erupt. For centuries, Vesuvius had remained silent. Its slopes were covered with vineyards, orchards, and farms. Wealthy Romans built luxurious villas overlooking the Bay of Naples. But the volcano was not asleep. Deep beneath the earth, pressure was steadily building. Modern geologists have determined that several years before the disaster, the region experienced frequent earthquakes. A particularly powerful quake struck in AD 62, damaging numerous buildings. Many structures had still not been fully repaired by the time catastrophe arrived. To us, these tremors seem like warnings. To the ancient Romans, they were merely a part of life. They had no idea they were living atop a ticking time bomb. The man who witnessed the end of the world. The most valuable account of the disaster comes from Pliny the Younger. When the eruption began, he was about 17 years old. Years later, he wrote two famous letters to the historian Tacitus describing everything he had seen. Thanks to these letters, we possess a first-hand account of one of the most terrifying days in Roman history. Pliny described a gigantic cloud rising above Vesuvius. It resembled a pine tree. First, a narrow trunk, then a vast crown spreading across the sky. Today, scientists refer to such volcanic columns as Plinian eruptions in honor of his description. No one had ever seen anything like it. The beginning of the catastrophe. At first, the residents failed to grasp the scale of the danger. Ash, pumice, and volcanic debris began pouring from the mountain. Many chose to remain inside their homes. It proved to be a fatal mistake. Chunks of pumice rained down upon the city. Roofs collapsed beneath the growing weight. People attempted to protect themselves with pillows, blankets, and pieces of cloth tied around their heads. Some fled. Others stayed. They believed the danger would soon pass. But the true horror had yet to arrive. The mystery of how Pompeii's citizens died for generations. Historians believe that the victims of Pompeii suffocated beneath layers of ash. This theory survived for more than a century. Modern research, however, has revealed a far more terrifying reality. As the eruption intensified, pyroclastic flows surged down the slopes of Vesuvius. These deadly clouds of superheated gas, ash, and rock moved with unimaginable speed. Temperatures may have exceeded 300 to 500 degrees Celsius. The flows traveled at hundreds of kilometers per hour. There was no escape. Many scientists now believe that numerous victims died almost instantly from extreme heat. This explains why archaeologists discovered bodies frozen in everyday positions, sitting, lying down, shielding their faces, or embracing loved ones. Time itself seemed to stop. Forever. People frozen in time. One of the most remarkable discoveries occurred during the 19th century. The archaeologist Giuseppe Fiorelli noticed hollow spaces within the hardened volcanic deposits. He realized these cavities were left behind by decomposed human bodies. When plaster was poured into the voids, the famous casts of Pompeii emerged. For the first time in nearly 2,000 years, the faces and final moments of the victims became visible again. A mother holding her child, a man attempting to protect himself, a dog struggling against its chain. These haunting figures became symbols of the tragedy. Yet they also raised new questions. Why did some survive? Archaeological evidence suggests that thousands of people managed to escape. The population of Pompeii is estimated to have been between 10 and 20,000 residents. Only around 2,000 victims have been discovered. This means a significant portion of the population survived. Who were these people? Why did they leave earlier than others? Did they recognize the danger sooner? Were they warned? No one knows for certain. The mystery of the date. For centuries, scholars believed the eruption occurred on August 24th, AD 79. This date came from medieval copies of Pliny's letters. Recent discoveries, however, have cast doubt upon that conclusion. Archaeologists uncovered autumn fruits such as pomegranates, chestnuts, and walnuts. They found braziers used for heating during cooler weather. In 2018, a charcoal inscription was discovered that appeared to indicate a date in October. Today, many researchers believe the eruption actually occurred in the autumn rather than the summer. Even the date of Pompeii's destruction remains a subject of debate. The lost city. After the eruption, Pompeii vanished. Not figuratively, literally. The city was buried beneath meters of volcanic material. Over time, its exact location was forgotten. Centuries passed. The Roman Empire fell. Kingdoms rose and disappeared. New cities were built. Yet Pompeii remained hidden beneath the earth, preserved, waiting. A city returns from the dead. In the 18th century, workers accidentally uncovered ancient ruins. Excavations soon began. What archaeologists discovered astonished the world. This was not merely a ruined city. It was a moment in time. Dishes still stood on tables. Paintings remained on walls. Jewelry, furniture, and everyday objects lay where they had been left on the day disaster struck. Pompeii became a unique time capsule, offering an unparalleled glimpse into daily life within the Roman Empire. Pompeii's greatest mystery. The greatest mystery is not how the city died. Scientists understand the mechanics of the eruption reasonably well. The real question is why so many people failed to leave. Earthquakes had warned them for years. The volcano gave visible signs of unrest hours before the disaster. Yet thousands remained. Perhaps they underestimated the danger. Perhaps they refused to abandon their homes and possessions. Or perhaps they simply could not imagine the power of the force gathering above them. That is why the story of Pompeii continues to fascinate humanity nearly 2,000 years later. It is not merely the story of a volcano. It is the story of human confidence, human error, and the fragile nature of civilization when confronted by the overwhelming power of nature. And beneath the silent shadow of Vesuvius, one haunting question still echoes across the centuries. If you had lived in Pompeii that day, would you have left in time?